Hi everyone, this is David Child. We're back with Books of Child. We're still reading The 100 Simple Secrets of Successful People by David Niven Ph.D. Today we're doing chapter 16, Do Things in Order. Now this chapter, as all of them are quite short, and it just uses the example of a sandwich and just getting the seasonings, fillings and bread in order and not messing it up, which makes perfectly good sense. Yeah, well, it's logical in most things in life. You're going to have an order to doing things. I think what this comes down to is a lot of the times you do like doing some things more than others, so you're going to want to skimp on the stuff you don't like for the stuff you like, and in the process you could bungle the whole plan. So I think this lesson in this is more appreciating the process, even the bad parts of it, in accomplishing something, because if you don't, you could fail. If you don't do things in the order required, you could very well fail. So pretty straightforward, pretty obvious actually, but you're doing something in particular, especially if it's got a lot of parts to it that are boring or unpleasant or difficult. Like, perfect example would be not being sociable and having to do a lot of communication as a part of what you do. I can actually look back at that. Yeah, in some forms of investment, for example, communication is pretty useful. Getting out and talking to people that are actually knowledgeable in the area, and my own struggle in that, I'm not a very sociable person, and that could have helped me down the line. Thinking back actually, so there's a bit of a personal thing there, because if you go through some of the more successful people, the much more successful people like Kiyosaki's books, you would, although he'd said very little in my opinion, I don't think it's, I think it's just when people get to a certain threshold of success, it's hard to look back and actually explain it, because to them where they are is normal. Whenever I've read a Warren Buffett book, I've really struggled keeping up with the way he writes, and I think it's because he's too advanced, he's too well versed in the subject to actually scale it back to an amateur perspective. That's just my experience of reading like the Intelligent Investor, although that's by Benjamin Graham, but also another book by him, I just can't remember the name. So from their perspective it's hard to look back, but they'll tell you the same. They'll tell you, look, I had to do this stuff in this way to actually succeed. So yeah, don't sacrifice order for the things you like in a multifaceted problem. Keep your eyes on the goal and keep your focus on what the actual process is in achieving that goal, making sure you do it in order. So thank you very much. This has been David Child with the Books of Child and the 100 Simple Secrets of Successful People by David Niven Ph.D. And I'll see you in the next one, the next chapter of this book. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye bye.